Here are some heads from a motorcycle. You can see we've refinished one. That's normally not the problem. It's pretty easy to get them to buff up. In our kit, we've got a special coating that withstands the high temperatures and everything you need in there to do a really great job. This particular head was just steel wooled. We're going to take it to the next step. In your kit, there are varying degrees of wet sandpaper. In this case, we used 1000 grit and wet sanded any minor pits out of there. If you've got deep pitting, you might want to go to a more aggressive paper, but you've got 3 different grits in your kit. So we continue wet sanding, and then we apply the aluminum polish, the ClassicTrimCoat aluminum polish, and continue buffing. You can see that's coming up really nicely, very shiny. The next step, we're going to clean this. We need to get all the wax from that polish off first before we put our coating on. You can use a more aggressive cleaner. You can use lacquer thinner. We normally don't include the lacquer thinner in the kit for liability reasons. But this cleaner will do it. It's basically an alcohol-based cleaner. After you've cleaned it, we'll use the deoxidizer and we'll show you how to load the pad. We talk in terms of dots. We apply 1 dot and try to connect them. We'll add probably 4 dots here to initially load that pad. You don't want too much or too little in there. I kind of press it into the pad to even it out, and then use a minimum of strokes. This technique is not like polishing. You want to flow the coat on in a minimum of strokes. Then we thoroughly dry the coat. We add 1 more dot and apply another coat. And dry that coat. Add another dot and apply another coat. Then either let it dry naturally or you can speed it up by using a heat gun or a hair dryer. Here we're showing how durable the coating is. You can hold it right on there and it doesn't peel up. It's not even affecting it at all. Well, here are the finished coated heads. As you can see, they really look nice. The coating on here is very durable, as we've said before. It can stand the heat gun test. The next thing is, if for some reason you don't get a good result putting on the coating, we're going to show you how to remove it. In your kit, there's a yellow liquid which you just paint on. Make sure you really wet it well. And wait for 2 to 3 minutes. If you've already treated this with the heat gun, you may have to wait longer and keep applying a little bit more, but ultimately you'll be able to just peel this up like a skin. Here we're going to wipe it up, and as you can see, it's starting to break up and peel up. You can also use lacquer thinner with this. This is a non-toxic remover compared to lacquer thinner, but that's up to you. We don't supply it in the kit, again, because of liability reasons. So keep applying the remover, and after you've removed the coating, you can repeat the previous steps and recoat the pieces. As you apply the coating, you may see a few bubbles that come up. You can either just whisk them off with the pad, or you can pass the heat gun over it very quickly to break the bubbles. Just the hot air stream will break those little bubbles. But normally if you work pretty quickly, you can just whisk them off with the pad. So we dry this thoroughly with the heat gun, and it's very important as you coat this. And we're going to do a little test just to show you that this heat gun is really a working heat gun. We're going to hold the heat gun directly onto the piece, and this coating can withstand this type of temperature. This gets way hotter than the bike will ever get, hopefully. If it gets hotter, you got bigger problems. If you have any questions, give us a call at 678-978-6995.